Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about PayPal's announcement of them creating a new stablecoin on the Ethereum blockchain. So I just want to firstly talk about the announcement, quickly talk about what the PayPal USD is, and then I'll talk about slightly things that are not really mentioned or slightly less talked about things and my thoughts going forward. So first of all, this is the official announcement by PayPal. They say coin is a stable coin, 100% backed by the US dollar deposits, short-term treasury, and similar equivalents, and it's going to be redeemable for one to one US dollar, and also it's issued by Paxos. So Paxos is the company that were doing other stable coins, including Binance's stable coin, which is one of the biggest, which is the biggest exchange in crypto. So this is very interesting because later on we can see that actually I'll show you in the other articles. Here, this is the website that's like the consumer friendly website where they talk about the benefits of having PYUSD, which is what the stablecoin is called. You can use it to buy and sell, convert, pay, send and receive to other people. So here there's an article by The Block, and they're talking about how it's going to be gradually released to people in the US in phases. And here is basically what I want to gradually talk about, what's not really been mentioned, on some of the critiques about it. So some people have been critiquing it as to why they've chosen Ethereum to be the blockchain. But in my opinion, I think is if you're a company that size has to do things in a very strategic manner, in a very safe manner. So PayPal themselves have, obviously they could use any blockchain, but number one, Ethereum's one of the most decentralized and secure blockchains. I can understand why people might critique it as to why they haven't used the layer 2, but them launching on Ethereum doesn't mean that they can't launch on a layer 2 later on, or they might even be making their own layer 2, like we saw recently Coinbase doing, right? I don't see, I understand the fees could get expensive, but PayPal could pay for the fees for people, right? It's not such a big deal. I mean, they have to choose the blockchain that's secure, and right now Ethereum is one of the most securest blockchain, right? That's not even up for debate. So I can understand the criticism, but I don't think it's really founded properly, because maybe this was their way of just launching on Ethereum, because we have seen they've tried to launch this for a while. There's been articles since 2001 or 2000 where they've been trying to launch it and they've had like setbacks, etc. And obviously regulatory wise it's probably not easy for them. So I can understand they're just launching on Ethereum to get the ball rolling. Maybe later on they'll launch a layer 2, although that itself has issues, like they might create confusion and whatnot. But I don't see them creating layer 2, but you never know. I mean, I never saw Coinbase making a layer 2 either, so there's that. Yeah, I just want to mention how people are critiquing it, the fact that PayPal can freeze and wipe in your assets, the stablecoin, right? So this also is basically what USDC does. So it's not nothing new. It's completely understandable what they're doing, because obviously this is a regulated private company, right? They have to do things that will protect them, the shareholders, etc. This is, if you want to use a decentralized stable coin, you can use, there's other options out there, right? So this is not meant to be decentralized, although I do think that this needs to be more clear to the average user that this could be done. But I mean, anyone using PayPal already knows that their funds and stuff, anything inside your PayPal can be frozen, right? And in the past, many people have had their accounts frozen or shut down, etc. So this is also something that I believe is not a big deal, because people do know about PayPal and what they've done before. Here I found an interesting article by Miles. He says February 10th, PayPal pauses stablecoin work and crypto regulatory scrutiny. February 13th, Paxos ordered to stop minting Binance stablecoin amidst SEC's charges. August 7th, PayPal launches a stablecoin issued by Paxos. So this is definitely interesting tweet as well, like the timeline exactly. I mean, these are the same issuers that were issued for Binance. So there's a lot of articles and some scrutiny against Binance, but I partly think that's a bit biased. Like some other companies are doing the same thing that Binance is, but they're not getting the scrutiny. I don't know, it reminds me of TikTok, but that's probably for another video. TikTok as in having Chinese affiliation, and people trying to, all the other social media companies trying to get band together and ban it. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject, but yeah, it just reminds me of that for some reason. Here we got a tweet by Ryan Silkus, is basically the founder of Mosari, which is a company that provides data for cryptocurrencies. It's one of the best out there, and they have got an event called Mainnet. And here he's saying there's interesting people from Paxos and PayPal will be talking on that event. So he just tweeted that. and I think that's really good as well. So here you can see on the website that people from PayPal and also Paxos will be speaking at the event. Here I found this interesting article I actually remembered. Every time someone mentioned PayPal, it reminds me of this. PayPal tells users it will fine 2,500 for misinformation, then backtracks immediately. So this itself just goes to show, the kind of company PayPal is. But obviously they had backlash, and then afterwards they had to, backtrack. And so it goes into a bigger conversation about information, misinformation, freedom of speech, etc. But the fact that a company would even decide to do this speaks volumes, right? Here, I just want to talk about another thing that I was thinking about the PayPal stablecoin is if it's gonna give any yield. So recently we saw MakerDAO, which is the company behind DAI, which is a decentralized stablecoin. It's big in the DeFi space. They're giving 8%. I believe it's APY a year or APR a year, right? DAI stablecoin, and even Coinbase was planning on giving 4% APY on holding USDC, and then later on they also backtrack because they, I guess, regulatory scrutiny, right? They say as we continue to work to see regulatory clarity for the crypto industry as a whole, we've made a difficult decision, blah blah blah. But it also be interesting if PayPal actually decides to give some sort of yield. If they can provide yield for it, I believe they could create a moat because people trust PayPal and there's like a very big branding, etc. If they can give anything over, like, I don't know, even 2%, I believe that could be a huge unique selling point for their stablecoin, because people love yield, right? And the problem with like crypto right now, a lot of normies don't know how to get yield. And so if they can get yield through PayPal, that would be very interesting. Even if PayPal gives industry low, right? Like, as long as it's more than a bank, like 1-2%, if they can give it anything over 2%, I think that would be quite big. And obviously the higher they go, the more lucrative it could be. So that's very interesting if they could do that. They might not be able to do it in the US while the regulation is how it is currently, but they'll probably do it outside the US. Or if I highly doubt they'll be able to do it in the US actually, because obviously this creates a competition with the banks, right? And so the incentives are not aligned, right? So the regulatory authority wouldn't want to approve of it. Here, this is just Coinbase's layer 2 website called Base, and that's the last thing I just want to touch upon it. If PayPal can actually make a layer 2 on top of Ethereum, I think that will be huge for the space, and it will really create competition between the layer twos on Ethereum. And even though I'm a big fan of Matic and some of these other layer twos out there like Optimism, I wouldn't be surprised if PayPal actually makes a layer 2, like, on top of the LP stack Optimism, and creates its own layer 2. It wouldn't actually surprise me. It's not out the realm of possibilities, in my opinion. So if they can actually do this, like create a layer 2 on base, sorry, on LP stack Optimism's technology, I don't know, but the fees will basically go next to nothing. And even so, because even if they're paying for it, right, they'll have to pay less, because right now if they're paying for customers, and customers are paying for it, and customers are using it on Ethereum, and they're eating the fees, that's a lot. That's like, it could be $20-$30 per transaction, right? We've seen when the bull run happens how high the fees can go. And lastly, I just wanted to show you how big PayPal is. So these are some stats, if this website is anything to go by. It says PayPal has 435 million active accounts as of 2023. 22.2 billion payment transaction took place in the year 2022, and in the year 2022 PayPal generated net revenue of 27.5 billion. So it just goes to show the size of this company and the impact it can potentially have on Ethereum. I know a lot of people I see a bit of bias. Some people coming on one side saying, like they're just talking about the good thing because it's launched on Ethereum, and other people, I think overall this is net positive for the space. Obviously you don't have to use it, there's some centralized, but I just see the more stable coin options there are, the better it is. Before we had basically just Tether, and then there's some other decentralized ones and algorithmic stable coins. And then you had obviously USDC, you had DAI before that, and then now we have another new one, right? So the more competition there is, the better it is for consumers. That's generally what I think. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. That's what I think about the project. I'm quite interested to see when it launches, the stats, etc. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.